Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Captain Gaurav Rana. I'm the founder of C and Beyond, and thank you everyone for joining in. Saturday afternoon, you have taken your family time to attend this webinar. I appreciate it. We'll try and keep it the webinar for about 45 minutes, wherein I talk, and then the rest of the time we'll try and take the questions that come from all of you. So some of us would have been connected before as well. For those who have not been connected with me, a brief introduction about myself. I have about 24 years of experience in the shipping industry. I request everyone to mute your mic, please. All right, great. So I've got 24 years of experience in the shipping industry, 2 years in command. I was working for a company called British Maritime Technology. When I quit sailing, I was a technical director over there. I was working out of Bombay, and I was working into port consulting. I was doing consulting for ports and logistics industry. So things like feasibility studies, detailed project reports, lenders, engineers, navigation simulation, all of that is what I did. Then I did my IBM. Then I did my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, and then I was working as a associate partner in IBM. My role was that of a program manager, wherein I was managing multiple projects and a little bit of business development as well. And then I've been running C and Beyond for the past 6 years. As I said, my education, of course, I've done my pre-C. I have a master's FG license. I've done my MBA and a BSc Nautical Science as well. About C and Beyond, when we started about almost 7 years back now, we were one of the first companies to address the career transition or continuity issues for persons in the shipping fraternity. We are endorsed by a lot of marine professionals, very senior professionals from different domains. We've done more than 60 webinars. We prepare CV, LinkedIn IDs for specifically for persons in the logistics shipping industry. We have done more than 500 of them. We've partnered with a lot of foreign universities. We've partnered with 6 foreign universities right now, wherein we help them to increase the awareness about the broader maritime related courses within India and for some in Asia Pacific. And we have partnered with 90 plus companies for their placement needs in the offices. So we're not essentially helping them to source seafarers for sailing jobs, but for shore jobs is what we are helping them for. Let me at this stage take a poll, and if I may know, what is your position or what is your rank? Maybe I should change the word rank now, because a lot of non-sailors also attend our webinars. So were you top 4 sailing? Are you at an operational level sailing? Or are you settled ashore and you've been an ex-sailor, or you've never went to sea? So those are the roles which we have right now. We'll encourage most of you to answer the poll. We've got about 84% of the persons who've answered. Can I have at least 90% answers? Okay, so we've got about 91% of the participants who have answered, and let me share the results. The audience predominantly persons who have been sailing. So top 4, 44%, operational level sailing 38%, 12% who were sailors and who have settled ashore, and about 6% who have never went to sea. So that's approximately the mix of persons who had registered as well for the webinar. So quickly about the do's and don'ts of the webinar. Um, the speaking rights are given to the presenter and the host, so which is me and my team. Um, uh, how do you communicate? It's primarily through chat. And once we are done with all the questions, and then if you want to really communicate, if you want to talk about something, we'll be available. But keeping others' time in view, we let most of the communication happen through chat only. Your questions, they can come, or I would request that if they come at the end itself, because maybe some of your questions can be addressed in the next slide. However, if you feel that this might not be addressed in the coming slides, you may put in your question in the chat window and we'll take them in the end. As far as possible, try and have don't ask very specific questions. For specific questions, we can again connect, but as far as possible, let's keep the questions a little generic in nature, right? As I said, about Sea and Beyond, our mission, and this is a very powerful statement, and this is what we've been trying to do for the past 6 years. Try to help persons in the broader maritime fraternity take a well-informed professional decision, be it deciding a field, be it deciding an education course, be it deciding a job for themselves. A lot of things which we do are around this, and the objective remains the same: to help these people take a well-informed professional decision. What our vision is, and where we are slowly moving to, is become a one-stop solution for most needs of persons within our industry. So which means that you probably require a dongle, you probably require uniforms, you require books, you require support when you are at shore or when you are on board. We should be try and help you in that as well. So that's the mission and vision of Sea and Beyond. Agenda for this webinar: when should you start planning your career? Which field is best for you is what it's a very detailed session in itself, and we have already done a webinar on this. So that's the YouTube channel or the YouTube ID where you can watch that webinar. So that's not covered in this particular webinar. How do you plan your career? How do you enhance your skills? The question is MBA for you, or is a maritime focused course more pertinent to you? How do you decide those things? How do you decide whether you go for an MBA or a maritime focused course? How do you, whether you do a full-time course or a distance learning course, and right time for each type of course. So what I've done is I've tried to create a little bit of a matrix, a little bit of tangible points which will help you to decide this. Because a lot of time the tangibility doesn't come through. So people just talk in the air, abhi kar lo, or maybe you can do it a little later. But we have tried to make it a little bit more tangible. Career planning. So let me tell you how I planned or didn't plan my career. So once I was doing my masters, that's the time when I started to feel comfortable or uncomfortable. I was not sure what I should be doing, where should I be doing certain skills, and honestly, I did whatever just came my way. I applied for ICS. I became a nautical institute member. I did a degree from Tolani Maritime Institute, a 3-year, 4-year distance learning course, because I didn't know what I could do, and then all of a sudden, yeah. And then all of a sudden I became a master. I sailed as master for a couple of years, and that's when there was a certain hollow within me. I didn't know, because luckily I was master at 28, and I had another 30 years with me. And I was like, what should I do for the 30 years? I can't be sailing for that long. So I was very comfortable. I loved sailing. I absolutely loved sailing. And that's when, and then how did I switch ashore? I took the first opportunity that came my way. Luckily I was successful in it. I wanted to do an MBA, and that was I was planning for a long time, and I applied for it and got through. But I didn't plan a lot of things. The or my biggest probably failure was that I didn't take guidance from anyone. I just took information from as many people as I could, but I never took guidance from anyone. But when you shift ashore, when you start talking to people, people then reach out to you, and that's when I thought See and Beyond could possibly be helpful for persons who are looking for some kind of guidance. So how and when should you plan your career? The first sign for you to to plan is that when you are feeling comfortable, you know as and when you start to feel comfortable, look for something. I mean, try and disrupt yourself, because um, uh, uh, you will get frustrated, or you will not be so much helpful for the company. The sooner you do it, the better it is, because once you are at mid 40s, then it becomes very difficult to disrupt yourself or your family as well. So start planning your career when you start feeling comfortable, or you think you will be comfortable in the next 1 or 2 years. Evaluate your strength and weakness. Very, very important. Talk to people. Don't just talk for information. Talk for guidance. That's very important thing. And the other important thing while you are taking guidance is that follow it up, right? You take guidance, 90% people take guidance and they never go back. Both the mentor and the mentee loses interest. It may not be so much helpful for both the persons, especially for the mentee. So have some action points from the mentor. Take guidance and keep it recurring. Plan for your goals. Share it with people, share it with your friends, share it with your family. It builds a very, very positive pressure on oneself, and I'm saying it should be positive pressure. That you've told people that in 1 year time I'm going to do this. uh, and then most importantly, act. Because we plan a lot of things. We go on vessels, we share our thoughts, we say 100 things, but we are unfortunately not able to act on it. So act is the most important part of your career planning process. How do you so there are essentially two ways which how most people plan their career, right? And uh, uh, and and there's nothing right or wrong. People have succeeded by doing both those processes. Number one, you work diligently. You are very successful in your career. Apply for different roles. So while you are working in a particular company or a particular position, you apply for the various roles in other companies, be it ashore, be it on sailing jobs. You will get an interview. Maybe 10% of the if you get an interview for 10% of the positions you apply, that's a very good number. So you get an interview, you get selected, you try out a job. If it suits, it's the best thing that can happen. If not, you try something else. So that's one way of planning your career, and most people do this way. At some point of time, I also did it in a similar way for the first 5 years when I came ashore. The second and a little bit logical way of planning is that you could shortlist your the fields where you would like to go. So maybe if you're good in, say, talking, if you are a people's person, so marketing field could be better for you. If you're a student. So if you would like to, if you're a person who's academically inclined, maybe something like a maritime law, or maybe an MBA is better for you. So try and shortlist the careers by talking to a few people, by taking guidance, more importantly, not just talking, by taking guidance from a few persons. Enhance your skills towards the area where you would think you would like to go. Very, very important, build your network. And don't just build your network within the shipping industry. Build your network outside the shipping industry as well. Brand yourself, have your own branding. Your branding can be through social network and professional networks like LinkedIn, or through a CV of yours. Try invest a little bit of time and effort and probably money in making a good CV as well. Apply for selected jobs. And why I say selected jobs, because um, uh, you should be able to customize your CV when you apply for a particular job. If you apply for 100 jobs with the same CVs, the chances of getting shortlisted become a little less. So apply for the jobs where you would like to go. You should get a job of your liking, excel, grow, and keep on enhancing your skills all the way through. So those are the two options which I said. One is, do whatever you are doing, keep on applying jobs, and you will succeed. There are no two ways about it. The other is, you take a little bit more scientific approach, wherein you think about where you want to go and try and pursue that path, right? So which option would you like to choose? It's a little easier to choose the option wherein you just go with the flow. But whatever you're doing, you should be cognizant, you should be aware that this is what I'm doing and I'm comfortable with it, right? And you should be satisfied with it. So at the end of 3 years, 4 years, you should not, it should not strike to you that, maybe if I would have done that, it could have been better, or that regret is what you should not have. And especially a regret key that there was no one to guide me, right? So both the options, I mean, I won't say any option is right or wrong. Both are correct in their own way, to each his own. But um, uh, the probability of success in the second option is a little bit more. But do whatever you think is best for you, right? Now I'm just uh, coming towards the opportunities, and this is where the webinar was supposed to kind of focus more on. What are the opportunities in the maritime and logistics field, right? Now, this is a graph which has been taken from IHS, and all the statistics, the sources of the statistics are listed. What it shows is that the world economy GDP is on the right, red line, which is saying it's going from, say, about 50 to 120. So about 100% increase in the economic world GDP in the 30 years, right? From 2000 to 2030. However, the seaborne trade will, and this is the green line which is on the left hand side, it is going to increase from 6 billion to about 18 billion. So the trade is going to increase 3 times, while the world GDP is going to increase twice. And the third startling fact is that the world population is probably going to increase only 50%, by only 50%, right? Uh, the point that this graph shows, or that I'm coming to, is that um, the opportunities in the trade field, right? And trade includes shipping, trade includes the associated logistics field, will be enough and more. Uh, and who and how will these gaps be filled, right? And we as seafarers, or there are other persons in the webinar who are not seafarers but from the logistics industry, we are probably best placed to address these gaps. There is going to be a lot of opportunities in this field. Already, if you see on the on the shore side logistics, these companies are coming to the campuses of top MBA colleges and giving one of the best packages right now. So they need the best minds. They have a lot of opportunities and they are ready to pay for it. And we are one of the better placed persons to address this gap, which was going to be there in the industry. Um, Let me just take a quick poll on. I would assume most of you are here to enhance to understand how could you enhance your skills. And so why would you invest in a mid-career education? Will request more persons to answer the poll, please. I've got about 80% of you who have answered. All right, we've got about 83% who have answered. Can I have the next maybe 5% more answer, and then I'll stop the poll? All right, so I'm ending the poll and sharing the results. Now, why do you want a mid-career education? 42% say they want a stable life, they want to stay with their family. 33% say they want to learn new things and grow holistically. 16% get recognition ashore, and 9% earn more money. Right. So let me just bust one myth over here. If you plan to take a shore job or you want to come ashore, um, for a, for staying with your family or a stable lifestyle, you might be in for a shock, because most persons who come ashore, and especially at the position which you might come in, especially if you're changing your career when you are top four, the responsibilities which you will get will be tremendous. First 1 year you will probably end up working 9 to 12 hours a day. You might not be able to stay with your family. So if your reason for coming ashore, or maybe having a mid-career education is to stay with family, revisit that option. That might not happen, right? For those persons who want to learn new things and grow, I mean, you're going the right way. You will learn, you will grow, you will have um, a little bit of issues settling into the new way of working, but there will be a lot of satisfaction. There will be a lot of growth in every which way. So just, I mean, my 2 cents on the reason for investing in an education or coming ashore. Now, is MBA for you, right? And I've got this a lot of times, a lot of persons, and this is probably because we see most of our friends with whom we did school and all, they did an MBA and they're getting extremely good jobs. And you probably think that MBA is the panacea, and it will, lead you to better, bigger things. So is MBA for you? The first question that you should ask to yourself is, do you want to stay in shipping? If you want to stay in shipping, and if it's yes, then MBA may not be the best option. Typically in shipping, MBA is not very highly recognized, or a person does not get a premium for a postgraduate or for an MBA post graduation degree within shipping. That's historically how it has been for most companies. Maybe there could be 5% companies which do give that value to MBA, but most companies do not. So if you're planning to stay in shipping, MBA may not be the best option. If you want to go away from shipping, right, then absolutely look for an MBA. And this is where we've put it down into three options. If your age is less than 30, try and do a full-time MBA, and you could be doing it from top 20 colleges in whichever geography you want to do the MBA from. So if you in India, try and only target the top 20 colleges. Maybe study while you are on board, take 6 months off from sailing, but target top 20 colleges. If your age is between 30 and 35, a full-time MBA from top 10 colleges probably what you should be looking at. The reason is that the kind of senior roles that you get in the top colleges are more as opposed to the colleges which you are not ranked as higher. So the probability of you succeeding is probably more as you get into a in the top in the top layer of the colleges. So as your age is higher, try and target the top tier colleges only. Age between 35 and 40, look for only the top three colleges, and again look for full-time MBA only, right? Last but not the least, if your age is more than 40, I probably wouldn't recommend an MBA. At least a full-time MBA, absolutely not. Distance learning MBA is generally not beneficial for a transition in a industry. So if you do a distance learning MBA, and if you think that by doing that you will be able to do a transition to another industry, very highly unlikely. However, a distance learning MBA is helpful, wherein if you are already working in a particular company, you are ashore, and you want to switch to a different department, right? So maybe you're in the marketing department, or you're in the operations, you want to get into the marketing, or you want to get into the finance department. That's the time when MBA helps. Also, MBA helps when you are looking to promotion as well, because few companies have a qualification criteria that for a certain level of position they will only hire an MBA, right? Most shipping companies do not have that qualification, but a few companies have them. So that's the time when a distance learning MBA helps. So that's my advice to you on the MBA. This is, I mean, as you go from left to right, the risk increases, right? The lesser your age, the more higher the probability of you landing up a decent job as per your as per your job profile, and succeeding in that role over the next 30 years. But as your age increases, the risk also increases. So I mean, just to give you an example, I did my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. We have had a lot of mariners also do MBA over there. In my batch, I was the only one, but I know the batches before me and after me, they've had other mariners as well. About 95% of the mariners managed to get a very good opportunity, and then they and they're doing very well for themselves within shipping or outside shipping. But there have been a few cases who did it at a slightly higher age, and who did not find the role which they wanted to, and hence they went back to sailing. Did they get opportunities? Absolutely, they got opportunities, but they were probably not able to adjust, or they were not to their liking. So that's a little bit of a a flow chart for you to understand wherever you are placed, and whether you should be doing an MBA or not, and if so, from where and what kind of MBA. Next is if you would like to do a shipping logistics port focus course. So if you want to, the assumption is you want to enhance your skill. If you want to enhance your skill, there are two ways: do an MBA or do a shipping logistics port focused course. MBA, I gave you a view in the previous slide. For the other courses, the first question that you want to ask is, how long do you want to continue sailing, right? So do you want to continue sailing? Yes. And there are no plans for you to leave sailing in the near future. So you don't intend to leave sailing for the next 4 years, right? Supposedly, then you should probably invest in a distance learning program, which is for 1 year. Shipping focused program is what you could focus on. If you don't want to sail for eternity, right? Or you know that I'll probably come to a particular position, and after which I will stop sailing, right? So you're saying that you probably want to sail for 1 to 4 years. Then look at your age, right? If you are less than 35 and you want to discontinue sailing in the next 1 to 4 years, understand your interest, shortlist your colleges, save money for that 1 year or 2 years, and invest in a full-time course. If you are more than 35, if you're more than 35 and you still want to sail, and you don't know, maybe you were saying that you want to sail for 1 year or maybe 3-4 years, then enroll for a distance learning program, preferably a 2-year program. And you know that probably be best for you. If you want to discontinue sailing in less than a year, right, then again it's the same thing for you. You should invest into a full-time course. You should have an understanding of the interest. You should be able to shortlist your college, save money, and invest into the full-time course. We could help you in shortlisting the course, or helping you understand where your interest lies. What are the courses which you could target at? If for distance learning for 1 year, maritime law course or a MSc in shipping ops and management. If you want to sail for 1 to 4 years and you're looking for a 2-year program, then MSc in shipping operations, maritime law, MSc in shipping ops and management. These are the courses which you could look at. Or if you're wanting to do a full-time course, then there are courses into port management, trade and logistics, economics and logistics. And let me also confide in you that when I did my MBA, I probably never knew about these courses. These are fantastic courses which are giving you a ROI of 3x, 4x of your investment. These are 40-year-old courses which can really propel your career to a much better standing than what you might do after you quit sailing after, say, maybe 5 to 10 years down the line. So those are the courses which you could possibly consider, and that's the flowchart which I have typically prepared. And I think I've listed the courses already on the previous slide, but the full-time courses are in Netherlands, UK, France, and the distance learning courses from Cyprus, UK, as well, right? How do you pick a course, right? So now you've decided that probably you want to do an MBA, or you have decided that you might want to do a shipping focused course, or a broader maritime focused course. Try and understand your interest. So for example, you want to do an MBA and you have more interest in finance, right? So IIM Calcutta is more famous for finance. If you have interest in HR, XLRI is better over there. Or if you want to get into the shipping side of things, then if you want to do in port management, then Normandy is better. if you want to get into the commercial side of shipping, or towards the economic side of it, then Erasmus is much better. If you want to stay into the core shipping, right? By core shipping, I mean the post fix operations, or maybe better management, or ship management is what I mean. Then maybe UK is a better place for, or the courses over there are better suited to you. So try and understand where you would like to go. The If you're 35 plus, probably, maybe closer to 40, I won't say 35 plus, closer to 40, then if you go get into a more shipping focused courses, it's probably a little bit better for you. uh, so a port management, or a logistics course for maybe persons between 25 to 35. So that's what I would suggest. In terms of geography, and I think geography also plays a very important role for you to choose to choose a course. In India, unfortunately, there are not many good maritime focused full-time courses. So you might have to go outside India. However, if you want to stay in India, you could try distance learning courses, or you could then do an MBA. Very important to check the credibility of the course, and wherein was able to find a list of top 50 shipping courses in the world, which was released by QS. And so MEL was number 3 on the list. So look at the credibility of those courses. Look at the network that it will try and bring. So from the network point of view, not just in terms of nationality, but also in terms of industry. So whether you'll have just people from the shipping, or whether you'll have persons from the broader logistics industry, ports industry, try and look at that, and the typical positions that they come at. You should look at that. And last but not the least, the ROI. ROI is very subjective, because someone might receive a very good ROI, some may not, but look at an average. But I would suggest, don't do it just for the ROI, do it for the learning, do it for the interest that you have. ROI takes care of itself over a period of time. Let me summarize what I had said up till now. If you want to do an MBA, when do you choose an MBA course? When you don't want to continue in shipping, when age is on your side, you are good in academics, and you are prepared to for a bigger competition with greater horizons, definitely greater horizons, and bigger competition as well. So that's when you choose an MBA. When you choose a shipping focused course, when you want to leverage the years of experience you have. So you've already got 6 to 8 years of shipping experience, try and then look for a shipping focused course. When you're looking for roles beyond a typical superintendent course, so superintendent roles, so you don't want to become a marine technical superintendent, crewing superintendent, then look for these courses. And then you, of course, you want to move into managing a port, you want to move into managing a logistics company, so that's the time when you should be looking for shipping focused courses. Then there are modular courses, which are essentially a 2-week course, 1-month course, 3-month course. And these are courses which you can do anytime and every time. But typically when you're already in a job, when you're stable, you want to stay with that kind of a company, that's when you choose these modular courses. You don't want to disrupt yourself. You're looking at incremental growth. You want to probably change your role from, say maybe into a ops to a fixing role, or maybe from a crewing to another kind of a role. That's the time when you look for modular courses. And we suggest that you look for IT related upskilling at this point of time is the in thing. Many companies are looking for those kind of skills, and there is a dearth of talent in the industry now for persons who have a industry knowledge and tech knowledge. You will get people who have only one of them, but if you have both, you are that's you will be in demand and you will rise pretty quickly. Now, how do you choose between full-time distance learning courses, or you don't want to probably, you don't want to have a additional learning? Full-time preferable to do before the age of 40. Distance learning can be done, when you are sailing or when you are on a shore job, no age limit and no additional learning. That's absolutely fine. Most people do not enroll for it, and it's okay. Uh, uh, Full-time courses, mostly 3 to 5% of the persons after a certain age enroll for full-time courses. So after 27, 28, not more than 3 to 5% people opt for full-time courses. Distance learning, probably 5 to 10% people opt for them, and 80 to 90% people do not opt for skill enhancement after they cross a certain age barrier or after they are at a certain level for various reasons. But the persons, these 5% people who opt for the full-time courses, 90% of them have a better advancement in the career. There are better, I mean, 90% of them will be doing much better than what they would have done in the next 5 years if they wouldn't have opted for a course. If you have opted for a distance learning course, 65% of them would have done better if they wouldn't have chosen the course. And out of the persons who do not opt for an additional learning, 10% probably have better advancement in the careers. So there are enough and more examples in the industry, in the market, who have probably not done any skill enhancement and they are at a fairly senior positions. Uh, but the probability is higher, is very less. Out of 100, maybe 10% is also on the higher side. I would say probably 5% would reach there, and then they think of probably enhancing their skills also. So that's just to give you a perspective in terms of statistics of the advancement in a career after you do a certain skill enhancement. When you choose any kind of courses, and these are some of the questions which I get regularly: will I get placement after doing a particular course? um, no college in India or outside India will guarantee a placement. Howsoever, if you're doing it from a decent college, from the top 10, 20, 30 colleges in that geography, very, very high chances of getting a placement after you do a full-time course. How much salary do I get after passing out? It depends on the course, but you will have statistics available. You can talk to the alums as well. But you should also look for the long-term ROI, right? To most mariners, you might get a dip in your salary after you take a course, or after you come ashore. But in the long run, the ROI is fairly high. The prospects are much, much, much better. Another question which we get frequently asked is master COC valid for a full-time course? Depends on the course. For most courses, it is. But a case-to-case evaluation is done. Just to give you an example, about a couple of years back, MEL course in Rotterdam, they were not recognizing just a master COC for enrollment in their course. And we tried and kind of assist them, intervene, and request them that the kind of courses that we have done, the kind of certification which we have, it should qualify as a master, we should be qualified for your courses. And then they said, you should be doing GMAT, and after some time they said GMAT is also not required and you can enroll for the course. So that's typical FAQs which you get. And what happens is that when a person approaches a particular university, sometimes the weightage is a little less, but if a company kind of approaches and then they kind of represent a certain community, then the chances of the university listening to or addressing that concern is a little higher. So that's what we tried to do at that point of time, and luckily we were successful. Last but not the least, and this is extremely important, plan for a course because you want to, not just for a short job or not just for moving out to another country. When I was working ashore, I was fairly well placed. I had a very I had lovely lifestyle. I was working from 8:30 to 5:30. After that, not much of work. I was getting paid handsomely, and but and I knew whether if I would go to MBA, I was not sure what kind of salary I would have got or not, but I wanted to do it, and I didn't think much about the job prospects, but luckily it helped. It went out well for me. But focus on the process. Do a course because you want to, not just for a short job. So yeah, that's pretty much what you wanted to say from C and Beyond perspective. If you are looking for a show for a course, we can help you in choosing the course where you would like to go. We can help you in choosing a particular industry, a particular kind of job that you would like to do. We can help you in the financial assistance, forex remittance, um, also visa accommodation in preparation, especially if you're doing an MBA. A CV SOP is very important. So we can help you into all those aspects essentially. And not just it's me, but we have a panel of experts. We've got about 60 odd experts on our website, who are essentially who are there to give back to the industry, and they should be able to help you as well. Here are the contact details, and probably Viren will write it in the chat as well, so you could connect with us over there as well. That's pretty much it from me, everyone, and I look forward to questions from your end. If you have any questions, some of you have sent me DMs. You have sent me direct messages. I'll request everyone to send the question, which is to all, so that everyone can read your question as well, and maybe a similar question does not come through. Right. So let me take a question from Karthik Subramania, who is who has DM'd me. What about executive programs from IIMs instead of MBA? Karthik, um, by executive programs, you mean these 2 week, 1 month programs? So they are, I mean, what's the purpose of doing the program? If the purpose is only to enhance your skill, to learn, extremely effective. But if the purpose is to possibly get a transition from a sailing job to a shore job, highly unlikely to happen, right? So that's my 2 cents on this. Mohan Prakash's question is how ROI is to be selected. So Mohan, I mean it's fairly straightforward. You see and ROI is return on investment, just for everyone's understanding. So how do you select your ROI? See the investment that you are trying to make. See the earnings that you wouldn't get when you will go for a skill enhancement, and then see the salary that you would get uh, in 1 year, or maybe over a period of 10 to 20 years, and then the difference you will be able to see the ROI. um, you know a lot of institutes can help you to calculate the ROI as well. If you would want, maybe Viren or I could also help you with. Question from Rasmi Ranjan Panda, and he's sent a direct query. How to do MBA in India holding UK COC? Okay. So you could get a equivalency certificate from either WES, basis your UK COC, or through Bombay University, or some colleges like ISB and all, they recognize your master COC at least. If you're an engineer, it doesn't. You already are graduate, so it does not matter. You can actually directly apply. But if you're on the tech side, then you might not have a degree. Then a lot of institutes do recognize master COC at least as an equivalency certificate, and you can apply basis that. Vatsal Sahu's question is executive MBA helpful offered from IM? Okay, so executive MBA means different things in different countries. In India, there are two types of executive MBAs. One is a full-time executive MBA, and the other is a part-time executive MBA. Outside India, executive MBAs are only the part-time ones, wherein you probably go over a weekend, or maybe 1 week in 6 weeks to do a particular MBA. Now, this question is specifically for India from IMs. So if you do a full-time executive MBA, definitely helpful. A lot of persons have transitioned from there. But if you're looking at a part-time MBA or a distance learning MBA, and if your purpose is transition to a different industry or transition to ashore, it may not be so helpful. Sushant Agarwal's question is, do we need to do GMAT for all MBA courses? Most likely, yes. For most MBA courses, you have to do a GMAT or a CAT or a CSAT or whatever. You need to qualify for those exams. And typically the score from GMAT 700 plus is typically a good score. Vasu's question, what about logistics and supply chain? I didn't get it. I'm not sure what you meant by this, Vasu. Vasu, if you can write in a little bit detail, and then I'll take your question later on. Nitin Kumar's question, is NMIS PGDM beneficial for enhancing knowledge and job opportunities? Enhancing knowledge, definitely yes. It gives you a view about the commercial shipping aspects. Job opportunities for mariners, not so much. But for persons, non-mariners, yes. It definitely helps you to get recognition and get you a better job. So yes, a lot of things which you do in NMIS, you would have done in your COC related courses as well. When you are in your class 1 or master's courses, you would have done that. But commercial aspect is something which you will, it will be an add-on. But job opportunities, immediately, not so many. Rasmi's question I've answered. Sachin, how can we get in touch for a career guidance for a one-to-one session? So Sachin, you can write to us on education@cnbeyond.com, and you can have a session with Wherein or me once, and then accordingly we can connect you to the right kind of mentor. Prathamesh, can we do logistics courses on second mate COC license from UK and try to find job in UK only? So if you do not have a degree in UK, you can do a bachelor's course, but that would be a shipping focused course, not a logistics course. You can do a bachelor's course in UK from your second mate COC from Solent University. That's what I can assure you about. Amir, you're closer to 40, cannot take leave. I don't want to do a distance learning MBA. You should not. Which colleges are good to proceed? Uh, uh, all right. Um, so, so I think, Amir, why do you want to, I mean, what's the purpose of the course that you would want to do, right? And accordingly, I could suggest you the colleges and the course as well. So for example, MBA colleges are definitely out. You could possibly do a shipping focused course, which is probably into MSc in shipping operations and management, which you should not do leave shipping. You already have 20 years or at least 18 years of work ex within the shipping industry. So MSc in shipping operations from either Cyprus or UK probably is better for you. But if and when you do it, also you should be looking at some tech related courses. You are an engineer, I know that, and you know, an engineer with technology, it's a maybe a 1 month 2 month tech course will be very helpful for you. Ramesh Kamaraj, I think I've already answered question about NMIS. It's useful. It really enhances your skill. Jobs, I'm not too sure. Jagannath Das, you're a marine engineer in operational level. How good will be shipping related MBA for me? I am 35 years old. So at this point of time, I would suggest you do a shipping related MSc. That would probably be best for you. Only thing is, try and understand where you would want to go. You want to remain in the core shipping, then probably a course from UK could be better. If you would like to get into the port or logistics sector, then something in France or Rotterdam could be better. Write to us on education, and probably wherein can education@cnbeyond.com, and we can connect with you. Ashutosh Bhatt, yes, I did get a placement from a campus placement from IIM Ahmedabad. In fact, I mean, not something which I want to boast about, but I got the highest salary when I got placed from IIM Ahmedabad. I joined IBM. I was there for 4 years. I learned a lot. I mean, it was a very enriching experience, and I enjoyed those 4 years to the hilt. Vivek, you belong to a medium class, so always worried about placement, which will be the best course in terms of placement, how much money will be invested in the course. So Vivek, you get loans now, right? So about the financials, if you are bright and if you are able to secure a seat in a good college, you will get loan. Automatically, you will get a loan. So finances nowadays are not so much a concern. You should be able to manage it. Um, and if you get into the good colleges, and if you are doing sincerely studying, I don't think there is an issue in terms of placement. Everyone gets a placement at a top 10 percentile, top 20 percentile college. Everyone gets a job offer. It's just that few persons do not take it because they don't want to relocate, because the function maybe they think is not right, but you will always get a job. There are no two ways about it. MBA courses in shipping, I except for CBS, Copenhagen Business School, I have not seen many good full-time MBA courses in shipping. CBS is the best. Close your eyes and go in. If you get an admission, you will spend about 1 CR just for the course. But if you get in, but otherwise, I mean, not a very big fan of MBA courses in shipping. What about Savio Moniz, engineers who want to enhance his career above 40? I think I addressed that with Amir's question. Shipping focused courses are better. Look for MSc in shipping operations and management. Look for course in UK. you could either do a distance learning or a full-time. There is another good option for Savio is that you could also get into maritime law. uh, very few engineers are there in the maritime law, and there will be a deadly combination of a person who understands the legalities, who understands the technical part. Operations is something which we know. So there will be a very good combination as such, Savio. Vatsal's question is second mate license enough for courses other than MBA? I think I've answered that. Mohan's question, he's sent a direct message to me. How Master's COC help in MBA admission? Also, if Master's COC is recognized by WES or any other. So Master's COC is, you can get an equivalency certificate in Bombay from Bombay University. So that qualifies you to apply for an MBA. And Master's COC you can get recognized by WES as well. Akshay,
but just to cut in, Captain Gaurav, that will be graduation, right? That will be BSc, not like post graduation.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be graduation.
Okay.
So that's a stepping stone for a post graduation degree. Akshay's question: the maritime industry is highly cyclical and has been found to be a price taker. Can you suggest certain allied field courses or certification such as HSES, decarbonization, etc.? That's a very good question, Akshay. So essentially what you are looking at are modular courses, right? And there are, I'm not sure if there is anything on decarbonization. Maybe I should do a little bit of research, but I have not seen anything on decarbonization. But if and when the course comes up, it will be a very big hit because the industry is going towards it. In terms of health safety courses, HSES courses, I would imagine a few classification societies might have those courses, but again, I mean, no structured courses which I can think of, Akshay, into those areas. What I suggest to most persons who are already ashore and who are planning to do modular courses, take a step-by-step approach and do tech-related courses. Do start from an Excel course, an advanced Excel course, do a little bit of analytics course, maybe do a BI course. So that's, I think the bigger point over here is, can you show your prospective employer that you are proficient in handling data, right? What is happening is a lot of data is coming from the vessels, and honestly the shipping industry is lost right now that how do we handle this data, we need people who can handle this data. Can you in any which way give some kind of confidence to your prospective employer that I am equipped to handle large amount of data, either by processing them through using certain tools, or inferring from the results that someone else gives you, right? So that's where in the first part the tech piece comes in, wherein you are able to process the data, and the second part wherein you are able to infer something from those courses. That's where this decarbonization and HSES courses comes in. Akshay, I'm sorry, I'll probably do a little bit of research and I'll try and come back to you on these courses.
Sorry to cut you, sir. Can you just go one question above Akshay's?
Say again, please.
So you missed question about Akshay's. Can you just go back to that?
I have missed one question. Is that what you were saying, Thomas?
Yes, sir. Yes. Then my question is just about Akshay's.
Okay. I don't see that, Thomas. I see Mohan's and Vatsal Sahu's question over there. It might be later on, Thomas.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that.
So one more question.
Can we,
Since-
Rashmi, can we take, so there, I still have about 41 questions more to answer, which are on the chat window. And
Okay,
let
sir.
me take
Sorry,
all
sorry.
these questions, then I'll come back and then we can have an audio chat as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Puneet's question, how difficult it is for a mariner to get in the top 3 IM? Which college is best for a mariner on the deck side out of these 3? So how difficult? I can say it is easier as compared to persons in the other industries. For a person in the tech industry, IT industry, extremely difficult to get into the top 3 IMs, right? But all IMs need diversity within their college. So that's where they want someone from a different industry or a function to join in. And hence you will get 1 or 2 points extra than others, but still you will have competition. It's not easy. I got in IIM Ahmedabad in the second attempt. I did not apply for any other IIM. I only wanted IIM Ahmedabad because I was very clear that the kind of pedagogy they had, and I somehow wanted the best college as well. So I was very clear. I wanted only IIM Ahmedabad. I applied for it twice. I got it in the second attempt. If you get 700 in GMAT, it should not be very difficult. You should have you should do a very good training on your interviews. You should be able to get through. In terms of best IIM, if you want to get into finance, it's Calcutta. Marketing, it's Ahmedabad. Marketing or general management, it's Ahmedabad. And operations, it's Bangalore. But you get in any one of them, you should go for it. Thomas, I see your question now. So what are the best courses and international colleges for chief officer without 40 above 40 without a degree, interested in course shipping, chartering, management? Okay, so it should be Solent University in Southampton in UK. They are a shipping focused course. They have a full-time and a distance learning course. You should probably look at if you're really keen to go outside India, then you should look at a full-time course. It gives you a 2-year post-study work visa as well. So that's a better course for you. Solent University in Southampton. Puneet, what is the higher age limit in terms of doing full-time 1-year MBA and getting placement and show? And as I said, I wouldn't say the highest age limit. The higher your age is, the less probability of you getting the best placement, right? I would say ideal age is between 27 to 33. That's the ideal age, 27 to 33. Above 40, a full-time MBA becomes a little difficult. Why? Because it becomes difficult for you to change the industry. Above 40, you should look for shipping focused courses, and MBA may not be the best option. Vasu here, management in logistics and supply chain from Germany. It should be good. If you can, email us the college, we might be able to tell you a little bit better. Rasmi says he's a UK master COC. Would you have to do IELTS or TOEFL? It depends on the college. For Erasmus, you don't have to do IELTS or TOEFL. For Solent, you have to do. For the college in France, you don't have to do. So it depends on the college, Rasmi. Gajanan, how do you become a warranty surveyor? Any course? Typically, surveyor, there are modular courses for them from Lloyd's, which are about, I think, a year, 2 year. But mostly to become a surveyor, it's your competence, it's your background, which matters most than anything else. So I wouldn't say that you should do a course for a surveyor. You should, if you have the right kind of network, you should, you'll get in there.
Sir, how about a membership? Sir, how about the membership of International Association of Marine Consultants and Surveyor? Is it a right organization to become a member or something?
Right. So my take, and this is absolutely personal take, um, the benefit of these organizations, I mean, the persons who are able to most benefit from these organizations is those who are non-mariners, right? Uh, for a mariner, you just through your degree, through your experience, through your COC, you can get a job. You do not need a certain validation from a association to tell you that you're competent enough. Just because you are a chief engineer, second engineer, chief officer, they know that you'll be able to do that job. If you take this membership, it adds an additional point. But will you get a job just because of the membership? No. But it will definitely add one additional point to your CV. That's all I may say. Right.
Thank you.
Shashi, how to become a marine surveyor or PSC inspector, any course? Shashi, I know of Captain Amrinder Barar. I know of a few more persons. If you want to become a PSC inspector, maritime law course helps a lot, right? So look for course from Solent University on postgraduate diploma in international trade and maritime law. That's a course which can really be helpful for you. In India, if you want to become a PSC inspector, they have their exams. DG Shipping has their exams, which you qualify. Then only you can become a maritime a PSC inspector. Savio, could you suggest tech courses for engineers related to decarbonization for me? I don't know about decarbonization. I have a list of tech courses which you could look at. Send us an email on education@cnbeyond.com and we should be able to share those list of courses with you once. Sauraj Babu, would you recommend going for UK COC? Objective is to fast track career and move to shore job. Yeah, Mr. Babu, I think it's absolutely fine to go for UK COC. That should not be an issue. I mean, it's not that you spend also a lot when you go to UK because you are able to work over there as well. You get a little bit more holistic overview that how that particular country works. So I think going to UK is good, and of course you can get your COC faster as well. I have done my COC from India, but if you want to go to UK, I think I would support it. Taranand, can you suggest distance learning courses? Taranand, what we'll do is we'll share the PPT with you. In the PPT, we had listed some distance learning courses, and you can get a view over there. Yeah, Taranand, so we'll share the presentation with you. Arvind, very often marketed networking and career support cells that executive MBAs like PGP Max and PGP Pro claim are beneficial be discounted. Intention would be to make a career transition within shipping from a pure operational role to a more strategy business. So Arvind, I have seen this to at least 3 or 4 persons doing a part-time MBA, which is PGP Max or PGP Pro. I wouldn't recommend them. If the objective is to make a transition to a different industry, or maybe to transition to a shipping company ashore, I wouldn't recommend them. I would say I would suggest that either take a break, do a full-time MBA, or maybe while you are sailing, do a distance learning shipping focused course. That is probably more beneficial. Those network and career support cells are good, but most people do not understand shipping. Most persons do not recognize what a marine engineer or a deck officer does. and hence for them to place you might become a little difficult, especially when they hear our salary brackets. So typically, I'll tell you the thought process of a recruiter, uh, and this is some things which we mariners also boast about. So we'll say we have a salary of 5 lakh rupees per month, right? While for us, we are boasting about it, and we'll tell them we'll come at a 2 lakh salary, and we'll become our operations head for you. But the recruiter will be thinking, if he comes as a operations manager at 2 lakh from 5 lakh, he will not stick with me. I don't think I should be hiring him until and unless you give a very very good reason for you to stay back, or for them to hire you. So I wouldn't suggest what you said, Arvind. Okay, Amir Huck's question is PGP. You've done PGP in data science and business analytics. I'm nearing 40. Is it beneficial to do a doctorate in business management from Swiss University? Uh, mm, I don't think so, Amir. I think what you have done, you have proved to most companies that you can now play with data if you have done that distance science course. I think that should be sufficient for you to get to a good opening ashore, especially in a marine tech company. Um, um, so if the intention is to get a good job by doing the doctorate program, then I'll suggest that stay put. I mean, you can do it later on as well. But if the intention is that you're really learning, you're really enjoying the data science course, you are really enjoying what you did, then I would suggest that you should definitely go for it, because that's a skill which is in demand, and which is in great demand. So then I would suggest that you go for the doctorate course. Puneet's question, work-life balance and rewards when shipping jobs ashore in comparison to private corporate companies, which is more likely recommended. Work-life balance, you will never ever get a work-life balance better than the sailing career, if I may say, right? So if you are, I mean to say 6 months sailing, 6 months ashore. If you want a work-life balance, um, coming ashore and working in India, forget about the work-life balance, especially at the position that you will come in. Most of us will come at least a middle management or a senior management. We'll not get that work-life balance. However, if you plan to take a course outside India, right? So for example, in France has 4.5 days of working, right? And that's where you could get a very good work-life balance. So in Europe, if you do a course, they offer you a 2-year stay back visa, and that's where you could get a better work-life balance. Utkarsh, value-added courses which you can suggest for deck officers who wish to shift ashore. Utkarsh, I think we'll share the PPT and it has the value-added courses. Karthik is working as a marine superintendent for about a year. Which would be the best course for career progression within shipping? So, two things. I think maybe it's better to have a one-to-one conversation with you, Karthik. If you can drop an email, I'll be happy to connect with you. There are about 5 or 6 superintendents currently who are doing different courses. 3 of them are doing distance learning courses. One is doing in law, 2 are doing in shipping operations and management, and I think one has taken a break and he is going to do a full-time course. Everyone has a different view. One person say wants to get into the commercial aspects, so he's saying that I'll do maritime law. I'll tell my company that I have operations knowledge. With the maritime law overview, I am probably better suited in the commercial aspects within India or outside India. So let me do that law bit and pitch to the company. Other person's view is that he feels that promotion within the company or maybe within the industry will be higher by doing a maritime shipping operations and management course. So he's doing that shipping operation management course. So what do you want? I think accordingly you should do a particular course. Valthigam Tyagarajan, absolutely, chief engineers should do maritime law course. It is extremely useful. Not many engineers are into maritime law course, and if I and as my colleague Captain or not colleague, my friend Captain Amarinder says that that's a skill which is in demand, so you should try your hands on it. Chandan, what all career opportunities we get in shipping after doing maritime law with my master COC? So maritime law course, you should do maritime law course not to practice law, right? You should do it to get into either two fields. Number one, surveying or incident investigation, because then you will be able to better write the reports, better do surveying, and you'll be better able to communicate. So that's one field where you will get a very good scope after you do maritime law. And the other is commercial shipping, wherein any commercial activity, there is some or the other legal aspect to it. A simple legal aspect is when you sign a contract, when you sign your charter party, right? If you are a mariner and who has done maritime law, you can absolutely add value by doing a maritime law course. So those are the two aspects which I feel can add a lot of, you can go by doing a maritime law course. Mayank's question, and that's a direct message to me. He's been working ashore for 3 years. He's between 35 and 40, executive MBA via contact classes versus shipping related courses, distance, interested in international trade and port management, not able to commit for a full-time course. Okay. Interesting question, Mayank. See, what I understand from you is that you are working, you mentioned you're working ashore, and I'm assuming you're working in a shipping company. From a shipping company, working as a marine, technical, crewing, HSEQ superintendent, to a port or a logistics switch, highly unlikely to happen by doing a distance learning course. A switch from a shipping to a logistics, be it ports or whatever, can most likely happen by only doing a full-time course. If you want to do and if you want to go there, I would suggest that you should look at Kedge or Normandy, and so those are full-time courses. Even if you do a distance learning courses from any of these institutes, it's very unlikely that you will get the switch. One is the skill gap, and the other is the salaries. A marine superintendent with 3 years experience, you would probably be in the range of 40 or so, about mid-30s, 40 at least. You will not get that salary directly in that sector. So you wouldn't want to, you will be less motivated, companies will be less motivated to take you, and the skill set gap will always be there. So I would suggest for you should look for a shipping focused distance learning course. A maritime law is a good course for you, or one of the shipping operation management courses are also good. Pawan's question, which course in shipping finance would be advisable for an ex-mariner working ashore in commercial role? I think from Lloyd's Maritime has a shipping finance role, but typically I've not seen only ship finance courses. I've not seen them. They are generally part of a bigger course, which is on shipping operations and management, or shipping management. Those are the courses. Those are the kind of courses which have this ship finance module. Ship finance is, I don't think it's a very, in itself, a full course. It's a module which is probably for a month or 2 months. Vatsal, he's holding a BSc degree. He's sailing as second mate and currently doing chief mates. Should I get in vessel audits and surveyor or PSC surveyors? When should I start and what course should I go through? Vatsal, it's a very specific question. Very difficult to answer like this. I'll suggest that you have a one-to-one call arranged with us, please. Akshay, how is the standing of Gujarat Maritime University and the various courses offered? So it's fairly young, Akshay, right now. The good thing is that they have collaborated with Copenhagen Business School, so which provides a good accreditation. The current courses that they are offering are good for entry-level persons, but for mariners, probably not so much. They have a good maritime law course, but it is a full-time course and not advisable for persons who have maybe more than 4 or 5 years of sailing experience or shore job experience. So overall, it has a decent standing, but it has to still live up to the expectations of getting a collaboration with the Copenhagen Business School. Sadanantam, how to become a maritime lawyer after master COC age 40. So do the maritime law course from Solent, distance learning. If you want to practice law, then you have to do a LLB as well. But I would suggest that don't take that route. I mean, you could possibly get placed in a commercial department or a surveying department of a shipping company by doing those courses. So that's what you could possibly look at. Utkarsh, can a deck officer shift ashore and at some time do value-added courses? Absolutely. A lot of guys do that, Utkarsh. You should be able to do it. What is the pay scale for deck officers thinking about shifting ashore in commercial ops? So the pay scales, if you are, it differs in department to department. So core commercial, which is broking, the pay scales are the least, but the growth is the fastest. Then comes your port logistics department function, wherein the salary will be little higher, but the growth is less than the broking role, but more than the ship management role. Then the starting salary of ship management is probably the best, but the growth is not so great. So you will reach a stagnancy over a period of time. As a to persons who have still not got their command or class 1 license, I would suggest that you should look for either commercial shipping roles. By commercial shipping, I don't mean postfix. I mean broking roles, or you should look for port and logistics roles. Core ship management roles can also be looked at, but I've seen a few persons reaching a stagnancy over a period of time. All right. I think I've answered most of the questions or all the questions. I have Rasmi's question: what best course recommend for port management jobs? I think the one in Normandy in France, EM Normandy college is in France. They have a very good port management course. It's a 40-year-old course. And it has a good ROI. So the course fee is about 14 or 16,000 euros, and the starting salary, average salary, is about 44,000 euros. So that's a good course for you to start with. Right. So guys, thanks for all the for the questions. Let me just take one poll from the persons, which I probably should have taken a little earlier as well. Any which way, to the persons who are still present, would you be interested to enhance your skill? Yes, no. What kind of courses are you looking at, and when would you like to go for a course, this year, next year? Utkarsh's question, okay, Utkarsh, our question, our office is in Mira Road in Mumbai. So can we have some answers to this poll, please? And then I can, leave the platform open. We have answered most of the questions on which came on chat. If you want to speak, if you want to interact, if you want to talk with us, with me, with Wherein, more than welcome. You can unmute yourself, and then we can have a discussion as well. Shashi, port state inspector, how to become a port state inspector? In India, there are examinations which DG Shipping has, and outside India, again, it's a set of examination, but a maritime law degree helps you to become a port state inspector. Can I have a few more answers, please, on this poll? I've got about 75% of you who have answered.
Captain Gaurav, how is US like for MBA for shipping? Let's say my age is at the moment 36 years. So what would you recommend? Should I go for full-time MBA, which I'm planning at the moment? So what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, so US is probably the best place for MBA courses. Howsoever, if you want to stay in shipping, then it's probably not the best place to do an MBA from. At your age, 35 plus, if you are looking, so the reason why you're looking for an MBA is you want to shift away from shipping. And if you want to shift away from shipping, I would suggest that you should not move away from shipping at your age. You can have much better growth within shipping by doing a shipping focused postgraduate course. But if you want to do an MBA, and if you want to move out of shipping, then US is good, India is also good. Both places have good opportunities. You will really need to study very hard and get good score in GMAT to get a good college.
I would like to ask about what would be the ideal age for a deck officer who wants to shift ashore and make a career ashore on a shore side. So is there any right age to take, and taking the factors like since he won't be having any experience ashore, will it make any difference, or like it is widely accepted to have seafarers who wants to shift ashore with the shipping background?
Ideal age, I would say, is between 27 to 33. I would say that's the best age for a person to shift ashore. But whatever you do, at least have a purpose in mind, that this is what I want to do, and this is the path that I should take. So that's my only request to you. But 27 to 33 is probably the better, in my opinion, the ideal age. Okay, Shashi has asked from where it would be better to do law. Maritime law, I'm assuming you're asking. So Solent University is there where you could do maritime law from. Thanks, Thomas, for your kind words. We will share the PPT, and wherein if you can take a note, and we can share the course details about Normandy and UK to Thomas as well. All right. Uh, Let me just take one last poll on the feedback questions. Um, you probably all came with certain expectation from the webinar. Were your expectations met? Did you find the session useful? How would you rate the session in terms of average, good, excellent? So, and I mean, more important is if you can give us points for improvement where you would want us to improve upon, maybe add some things in another webinar which we do. So that would be helpful for us and for you and other persons who might attend the similar webinar. You might want to speak as well, the changes or additions that you would like, or you may write it down as well.
So I would also like to I'll ask like the copy of value-added courses that you have mentioned earlier. So please tag me in as well for that file that you are going to share with Thomas.
Sure. We'll do that. So in fact, what we'll do is we'll share this presentation with everyone, which I had shown, and then we will also share the courses as well. And to save you, we'll share the maritime law course details with you as well.
And I would like to ask, sir, is there any do we have to make any appointments to visit you in person for one-on-one sessions for clearing our doubts, or we can just walk into the office?
Yeah, I would suggest if you take an appointment, because you wouldn't know whether I'll be there in the office or not, or maybe if you want to talk to wherein, you wouldn't know whether we'll be there or not. So just
Yeah.
drop an email, call us up. It'll be better for everyone.
Yeah, that's not an issue. I'll work out on something that I'll have some more queries. I'll try to visit the office one-on-one for a one-on-one session.
Sure. Okay. Just sharing the feedback as well. I think it's a fairly positive feedback. Uh, I'm thrilled that 58% of you rated the session as excellent. So that's very good to know. And all of you found the session useful and your expectations were met. So happy. I mean, my time was, and more importantly, your time, was not wasted. And so good to know.
Sir, what about doing this MA in Maritime Law from this Nalsar University, which they have started last year in India?
This is the Gujarat University. Is that correct?
Negative, sir. Negative. This is the Nalsar University of Law, which is, I think, best in India, maybe having 2-3 rank in India.
Okay. Is it maritime law or is it normal law?
No, sir. They have started this Master in Maritime, MA in Maritime Law.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not aware of it. Let us have a look at it, Chandan, once, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Wherein, if you can make a note of this once, please.
Sure.
All right. Okay. Anything else? All right. I don't think so. Let me then stop the recording.